In the heart of Las Vegas, a place where dreams and excess collide, a comedian named Buddy Hackett stepped onto the stage with a mission to break every taboo in sight. His act was a wild ride from the very start. Hackett began by poking fun at the word ass, asking the audience why it was considered dirty. He took a gun, placed it in his ass, and quipped, "Guy has a gun in his ass, not so frightening. This was just the beginning." By 1968, his shows were so risque that the hotel where he performed advertised them as adults only. Hackett's charm lay in his ability to push boundaries while still being hilarious. He'd finish his shows with a humble apology, like a naughty child begging for forgiveness. Shecky Greene, his friend and rival, noted that Hackett had a unique talent for saying the worst words on stage and then instantly winning the audience back with his endearing voice and playful attitude. Hackett would often say, "I want to get the audience to hate me, and then see how long it takes to win them back." This ability to balance shock with humor made Hackett a draw in Vegas. He was so popular that even high rollers came to see him, second only to Frank Sinatra. In 1969, Sahara Hotel owner Del Webb even promoted him to Vice President of Entertainment. Hackett spent most of his time in Vegas but lived a life off the stage that was as wild as his acts. He collected guns, always carried one, and wasn't afraid to use them. Stories abound of his reckless behavior, like shooting a picture of Toadie Fields off the wall in a fit of pique over her success. Greene, another Vegas legend, was almost as unpredictable. Born Fred Sheldon Greenfield in Chicago, he honed his craft in the Midwest and New Orleans before making his Vegas debut in 1953. Unlike Hackett, Greene's success was entirely tied to Las Vegas. His shows were a whirlwind of jokes, songs, and spontaneous chaos. He could turn a simple story into a madcap journey, blending dialects, songs, and parodies without a clear start or finish. Greene's act was so unique and powerful that audiences felt each show was a one-time event they'd never see again. Greene's life was as tumultuous as his performances. He struggled with manic depression and alcoholism, often leading to violent outbursts and feuds with hotel management. Despite his problems, Greene remained a force of nature on stage, captivating audiences with his raw talent. He once punched Milton Berle after Berle tried to calm him down during a chaotic performance, showcasing both his volatile nature and his comedic genius. Both Hackett and Greene left an indelible mark on Las Vegas comedy. Hackett pushed the limits of what was considered acceptable, while Greene's improvisational brilliance left audiences in awe. Their stories are a reminder of the city's golden age, where comedy was as wild and unpredictable as the casinos themselves. In a town where anything could happen, these comedians embraced the chaos and turned it into art. In the heart of Las Vegas, the allure of gambling, glamour, and temptation drew not just tourists but also a multitude of entertainers. For many stars, the city was a siren's call, promising excitement and fortune, but also posing significant challenges. Gambling, in particular, was an ever-present danger. Stars like Don Adams found themselves losing thousands of dollars in what seemed like no time flat. As the impressionist Rich Little noted, many entertainers essentially worked for free, gambling away their earnings as soon as they earned them. For some like Jack Benny, the allure of Vegas was too strong. Benny quipped that while others made the same salary, he at least got to keep his earnings as he would take them home, unlike the money spent in Vegas. Beyond the casinos, the city's reputation as a place where anything went extended to its social scene. Beautiful showgirls, alluring cocktail waitresses, and high-priced companions were ubiquitous. The line between work and personal life often blurred. What happened in Vegas frequently stayed in Vegas, but this didn't always protect relationships back home. Henry Bushkin, Johnny Carson's lawyer, recalled that Vegas was a place where Carson could be his freest self, but it wasn't without its consequences for his personal life. For many celebrities, Vegas was both a playground and a testing ground for relationships. Mia Farrow, a young Hollywood actress, found herself in this complex environment when she started dating Frank Sinatra in 1965. The culture was male-dominated, with women often relegated to secondary roles. They were expected to be attentive but were mostly ignored until they had something to say, which was rarely. The atmosphere was heavy with male camaraderie, and women often felt like they were there merely to be admired. The presence of organized crime loomed large over Vegas, though it was an open secret. This was brought to light in 1963 with the publication of The Green Felt Jungle, a shocking expose by investigative reporters Ed Reed and Ovid Demeris. The book revealed how deeply entrenched mob figures were in the city's operations. Entertainers were aware of this underworld, but they maintained a careful distance. Bob Newhart, a comedian, noted that while you never wanted to know a mobster's past, they respected those who kept their distance. Despite the mob's influence, many in the entertainment community viewed the mob with a mix of fear and respect. They respected the mob's ability to maintain order and protect its members. Paul Anka, for example, mixed with mob figures but never accepted favors from them. The mob's control made Vegas a surprisingly safe place, where one didn't have to worry about mugging, even at night. For some stars, the mob was more than just a backdrop, it was a part of their personal history. Vic Damone, a renowned singer, had a particularly close relationship with the mob. Early in his career, he was engaged to the daughter of a Buffalo mob boss. After breaking off the engagement, he narrowly escaped an assassination attempt orchestrated by the jilted father. The incident was resolved at a mob meeting where Frank Costello intervened, ensuring Damone's safety. Damone came to see the mob as a protective force after they saved his life, though his relationship with them remained complex. The entertainment community in Vegas was not just about the big names. For countless musicians and performers, Vegas was a lifeline. As big band music declined after World War II, many top musicians found a new home in the city's hotels. Each major hotel had a house orchestra, providing steady work and better pay than the traveling life. Frank Leone, a piano player from Philadelphia, moved to Vegas in 1967 and never left. He found the work steady and the pay excellent, which encouraged many top musicians to settle in the city. The impact on musicians was profound. Carl Fontana, once with Woody Herman, moved to Vegas in 1958 and spent the rest of his career there. Buddy Childers, a former lead trumpeter for Stan Kenton, became a full-time player in Vegas during the 1960s. Bill Chase, another talented trumpeter, performed in Vegas lounges and even arranged music for a show called Vive Les Girls. For these musicians, Vegas was a place where they could build long careers and find stability. The city's allure was not limited to the famous. For many rank-and-file performers, from chorus line dancers to lounge singers, Vegas offered a chance to work consistently and earn a living. It was a place where dreams could be chased, even if the personal costs were high. As the city continued to thrive, its complex blend of glamour, danger, and opportunity kept drawing people in, cementing its place as one of the most fascinating cities in the world. In the heart of Las Vegas, a unique world thrived, especially for musicians and show performers in the 1960s. This place was like a dream for many who came from all over the country. Pete Barbuddy, a musician who first visited in 1960, remembered how everyone here was the best in the world. Musicians often worked double shifts, playing in different places from late evening to early morning. They earned around $1,300 a week, which was much more than what musicians in New York or at famous places like the Philharmonic could make. By the late 1960s, Las Vegas was home to hundreds of musicians. For those who had been touring around, Vegas was a place to settle down. Mark Massegli, a bass player who arrived in 1957, called it musical heaven. Although there was more studio work in other cities, Vegas offered daily performances, which was a dream for musicians who loved to play live. However, the scene in Vegas was mostly male-dominated. Men were the musicians, directors, choreographers, and producers. Despite this, female performers had plenty of opportunities. They worked in two main areas, as showgirls or dancers. Showgirls were tall and focused on looking beautiful, often performing in chorus lines or topless shows. Dancers, on the other hand, had more skill and could perform complex routines. One such dancer was Maria Poggi, who came to Vegas in 1960. Despite facing challenges like when her troupe's hotel burned down, she found steady work and even danced with famous stars. For showgirls, the job could be tough with heavy headpieces and long hours, but the pay was good and the work glamorous. Claire Fitzpatrick Plummer, who started in Vegas in 1958, made more money here than she would have on Broadway. But working in Vegas wasn't just about performing. Showgirls often had to work in casinos afterward, entertaining guests and sometimes playing games with customers. This was seen as part of the job known as mixing. While some enjoyed this aspect, others preferred to focus on their performances. For Elvis Presley, Vegas was a paradise. He loved the city for its nightlife and the beautiful women who performed there. For Elvis, the women were the main attraction, offering him a chance to relax and have fun after his shows. He enjoyed watching favorite lounge acts like Della Reese and Fats Domino.